Hi, Ron here from ExtremeMist. We have a new product we want to go over and do an unboxing to let you see exactly how to set this up. This is our 3-in-1 misting fan. It's very portable, it's easy to use. Once you go through this unboxing, you'll understand everything. So first I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to show you what's in the box first. There's some packaging that we'll remove. Here's the instruction booklet. When all else fails, you can always read it. Here is the fan setup itself. I'm going to set this aside for a moment. What else do we have in here? This is a solar panel. Take that out. This is the charger for the fan and the charger for the pump for the fan. They are two separate systems. What else do we have in here? Here is a little quick start checklist for the pump system and a little thank you, tell a friend, share experience. Hopefully you guys will. And last but not least, we have a line mister, which I'll tell you about in a moment. So I'm going to take this out of the way and start with the fan itself. This is a 14-inch fan with 5 blades, so it will really push some wind out. There's 12 speeds on this. When I turn it on, I just hold it down and it defaults to speed 6. So right now we're blowing halfway. If I turn this all the way down to speed 1, this is great if I use it when I go camping in my tent just at night. On this speed, you can get up to about 26 hours off this lithium power pack that's on the back of the fan. And everything in between. So now I go up to speed 2, I'm going to use a little bit more of the power out of the lithium battery pack. Speed 3, 4, 5, 6, which was the default, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I really can't hear anything but the wind coming off of this because it's a brushless motor, so it's very, very quiet. So on the back here, I have the plus, the minus, on off, and then I have a battery indicator. Right now this came with 3 out of 4 bars on the battery, so it's about 75% charged, give or take a little. Okay, now this tilts. So it's not 100% 360, but pretty close to it. At least 180 on this one. And the reason is because of the fan. Another thing, because of the pump, I'm sorry. The other thing I can do with this, if I wanted to, I can hang it up off some hooks and put it up higher if I needed to. But most of the time, very lightweight, easy to carry around, easy to set up. So right now I have a fan. Remember I said it's a 3-in-1 misting fan? So this is number 1, straight fan. Number 2, if I want to go to misting, I pull the mist nozzles, put them forward. You never want to leave them down here because they'll just mist against the fan cage. So pull it out, they're on swivels. These things move all the way up and down. So just set it however you want to. It doesn't have to be perfect straight out or anything. Another thing that's on here, I'm going to shut the fan off for a moment. This is the ExtremeMist pump. This is in all of our products. Most of our products, this is the pump that we use. It's attached onto the fan on its own little plate here. And you can see from the fan ring, comes down to here and loops up. And this is the ring. It's always coming from the left side facing the pump. And then your feed line that's going to go into your bucket of water is going to be on the left side. So right side is for the misting nozzles, left side is for the feed line from your water source. The beauty of this is, this pump, if you don't have a water spigot nearby, you don't have electricity nearby, this is the game for you. It actually can't hook to a water spigot, so any bucket, pail, bottle of water, anything you want to drop this in will work. It comes with a little micro filter on here. You can pull it off by depressing the blue ring and it releases. Everything's on quick disconnect fittings. So now I can put this back in and now it's hooked up. This little micro filter, it's a brass filter. It adds a little bit of weight to the system to keep it down in your water source. When you first get it, it's going to have a little memory from being coiled up. After a few hours, it'll go straight and be easier to deal with when it's in your water container because it won't try to curl up and come out. So you drop this into the water source and it's going to suck it up through here into the pump and out through here. There's a remote control that I find on the pump here. I'm going to take it off of here. I usually like to keep it on the handle once I open it so I know where it is. I'll put it in my pocket a lot of times and then I'll walk away and forget it's in my pocket. So you want to go ahead and probably keep it with the fan as much as possible. It has a little closing cover on it so you can open it or close it. I just leave it open most of the time unless I'm during transport. There's 4 buttons on the remote control. And again, this just remotes the pump. It controls how much water flow I want to come out. There's an on button, which is the square button. There's an off button, which is a lock, and then there's up and down. So it's only 4, and it's quite simple to operate. Before you can actually run the pump, you have to look on the right side of the pump. There's a battery blocker, and it's sitting right here. You can release this Velcro to get to it if it's hidden under there. And here is the battery blocker. I pull that out. I only use this one time, it's for shipping. Now I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to put the Velcro back on. And now when I hit this button, you may be able to hear the pump. There's no water in it, so it's noisier until I put water to it. It defaults at a speed. There's 8 speeds on here, and it's defaulting at around speed 4. Then I can go up or down from there. And again, that controls the water. The fan speed is controlled from the back panel. There's some other parts that go with this until I get to the water. I'm going to hook water up to this in a minute. But in here, this is the charger for the pump. The pump charges up onto the left side. There's a port here. I'm going to take this off of here in a few minutes and I'll show you all that. But this is a micro USB charger. It comes with it. So I can plug this into any device and charge, but it takes longer than if I use the plug that comes in it for the wall. So I would just plug this into here, plug it in the wall, and then plug this into the pump battery. And on the pump battery, on the highest speed, which is speed 8, you'll get about 5 hours of battery time on it. If I go to speed 1, it can go up, we say 12 hours in the manual, but actually I get up to 16 hours, and then everything in between on those 8 speeds. Also in this bag is an ExtremeMist nozzle. Now I'm going to get into the whole mist nozzle in a few minutes, taking it apart and showing you what's going on there, but here's a spare. Also in the box was the charger for the fan. This is the charger for the fan, the wall charger. It plugs right into the back, right here, if you can see this. And this takes about a good 4 hours to get a good charge on there off the wall, if it's totally dead. If any of these have any juice in them, it takes a lot less time. I say 3 hours for the pump from dead to full, and a lot less if there's some juice left in the battery. Also in here was a couple of bolts and wing nuts. That's going to be for the fan, or for the solar panel. And I'm going to open this up. The solar panel, it's a 20-watt system, and it's 15 volts. And if anyone's interested, and you can read on the back the rest of the amperage and things on it. Now, to put this together, you're going to take those bolts that I had in this package, and you're going to line this up with the hole on the side. And what I like to do, I like to put the wing nuts on the inside rather than the outside. It's up to you how you want to do it. I just don't like them catching on anything. So I take the wing nut, put it through here, put it in here, and then you take your screwdriver and tighten that up. For time's sake, I'm not going to put this on at the moment, but you just put that in there, tighten it up, and when you do, this is a nice little stand, so you can stand it up and aim it towards the sun. This has got a 16-foot line on the back, and again, where I had the wall charger, this plugs into the same port, and when I plug that in and have this during the day, picking up light, it's going to charge the system. It's going to charge the system if I'm on about speed 6 or under and run it at the same time. If I go above speed 6, it's going to run it indefinitely. Even if you run out of battery on the lithium power pack, it'll keep running it. So I put this out during the day. I'll put this out in the sun, this in the shade with me if there is any. Again, with the 16-foot cord allowing me to do that. And this will run the fan all day long. If a cloud comes over and covers it, the lithium power pack takes over. As soon as the cloud's gone, the solar panel kicks back in. Last but not least, again, this is a mist line. So now we had the fan, then we have the misting fan. So now we're 2 out of the 3-in-1. This makes the 3-in-1. I can come over to the pump and remove the pump from its base. It's just Velcro. Pull it off of there. These have little quick disconnects on all the fittings, so there's like shark teeth in there. So I push down on the fitting and firmly pull, and now I've released it from the fan, and now I have my feed line here. Now I can take this, and I can take the Velcro back, and I can put it on a beach umbrella pole. I can put it on a golf cart, on my side-by-side, on a easy up, anywhere that you need some extra cooling, in a line mister. So I can attach this to any pole and it'll hold on, and then drop this into the water. And now this is where this comes into play. Open this up. I even use this on tents, anywhere I need additional cooling. So now I have a 16-foot line mister that has 4 nozzles on it. Same situation as on the fan, except these go 360s all the way around, so you can adjust it however you want. And again, everything's on quick disconnects, so I can use 1, 2, 3, or 4 nozzles for whatever application I'm using it on. I can also, if I wanted to, use this as a trim to fit. If I wanted to leave it on something, and you can always buy extra of these kits, but like I have this on my side-by-side on my razor, and I just leave it on, and then I take the pump off the razor and move it to my fan, to my backpack, whatever else that I'm using it on. So it's very versatile. So now I can take this 16-foot line, plug it in to the out. On the back here, there's arrows in case you forget which is the in and the out. There's an up arrow, which means going out, and the down arrow means coming in. So you can always know exactly where to put these. But this little string lanyard that you can hang this if you're not using the Velcro, you can hang it off something, a tree branch or whatever. The input from your water source is always next to the lanyard, just in case you forget or you don't want to look at the arrows. It comes with 6 rubberized reusable ties to help attach to different things. It has a dozen of these leather clips that will go around. I'll just show you that real quick. You just take these clips. I always put them around each side of the nozzle so it's easier to adjust them. I just snap these together, and then I can snap it onto an umbrella or a bimini top on a boat, or anything that's thin enough to handle this. And then the larger items you can use these wire ties for, rubberized ties. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off both hoses here. I'm going to unzip this case, the neoprene cover, and here's the pump. This is what does all the action. On the highest speed of this, it goes up to 170 psi, which is crazy for this size of a pump. This is the battery pack for the pump, the lithium battery pack. On this side is the USB charging port, the micro USB charging port. On this side is a USB output, so I can fast charge other devices like my phone or my music if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I have a problem. And it also has lights on here. There's 4 lights. This is fully charged right now. And again, this battery on the pump will last me anywhere from 5 to 16 hours, depending on the speed you put it on with the remote control. Another thing I want to talk about are the quick disconnects. And these are all quick disconnects. This is quick disconnects. When you put this together, if I just push this in like 1/8 of an inch, it'll lock on and I think I'm in. It's really not. If I did this, it would just be sucking air through the system and it wouldn't work. And this is 90%, to be honest, of any of my fix-it calls, is that someone didn't push it down the extra 1/4 of an inch to seat it. They have to be fully seated or it won't work. And again, to pull them off, depress the white ring on this. On these, depress the gray rings to pull them off. But there's a little O-ring donut in here, and I'm not sure if you can see in here, but there's little teeth, I call them shark teeth, that grab onto the hose. Again, if I go just that much, it feels like it's locked. It's not. I have to go another 1/4 inch down to fully seat it. So make sure that you do that. That's always the first thing you check if things aren't working out for you. Okay, now I'm going to put this back into the case. I'm going to take the lanyard now and I'm going to put it onto the bottom, because the last thing I want to do is get this to suck up through the fan, which I've never had it happen, but just in case, I just put it on the bottom. Go to your Velcro, unsnap it, take your pump, put it back in place, and Velcro it back on. Doesn't have to be super tight or anything, just to hold it in place. Now I'm going to take my feed line, again, put it on the left port, push it in, fully 1/4 inch, seat it. The hose for the fan ring, misting ring, push that all the way in. Now I'm ready to test this. I'm going to go ahead and bring up some water. I can pull this off and it'll fit, this 1/4 inch hose will fit right through there. And then I unscrew it. And I can put the little filter on to keep floaties out and drop that down in the water. Now I don't have to have a lid on it at all. I can leave this totally open, just an open pail of water. It doesn't matter, because remember, it's not working off of pressure, it's working off of suction. Now when you first start this up, there's no water in these lines, there's a lot of air. So it takes a little bit to get the air out. I'm going to turn on the pump. And again, it's a little noisy at first because it's trying to draw, once it gets water into the pump, it'll quiet down. I'm just going to help that out a little bit to speed up the process. I'm going to turn this little wing nut right here. I'm going to turn it and open it up. And that's going to allow for any air that's in the system to get voided out, and it's going to get me quicker. Now I can see the water coming out of here. Close that wing nut. Now I've got misting happening. So now here's some mist coming out of here. And what I want to do now, I can turn it up or down as I please. I'm just going to shut it down for a little bit lower. When I first turn this on, again, it comes to a medium speed. Same with the fan. Now I can turn up the fan as high as I want to go. And now I can crank up the water. And I am misting away. I don't know if you can see that very well, and I can even go a little higher, and that's really pushing it out. Something to keep in mind when you're setting this up outside, when the breeze is coming, always try to get the breeze to come behind the fan so it gives you even more power and pushes that water even further. This will usually reach out a good 10 feet without a problem, or even more, to be honest. And if you add the breeze behind it, it'll even push it even further. So This is just an awesome setup to take out to the lake, to the camping, to for horse stalls, anywhere you need extra cooling, barbecues, anywhere you need some extra stuff. This is a great item for that. And I want to go into one more thing on this, and that is the nozzles themselves. I'm going to pull a nozzle off. Again, gray ring, depress it, take off the nozzle. Most nozzles on the tips, they're made out of metal, brass or steel, and these have a ceramic. You can see it's white, and that makes it so that it can't build corrosion up on it. It can still get a mineral chip in it like all nozzles can. I'm going to take this off. Now, hopefully you can see this inside here. You can see, if I hold this up to the light, I can see a little hole through there. That hole is no bigger than a hair on my arm. There's also this part. If you ever open this up, do not lose this. If you lose this little piece right here, it's a spinner. That's what's creating the actual mist. You need to have that. Then under that, it fits into a little spring with a little plunger. That little plunger is in there so it doesn't keep dripping. When the water pressure comes up, it pushes the plunger out of the way. When you release the water pressure, it drops back down so it stops it from dripping continuously. You might still get a couple drips here and there. Now I'm going to show you the second stage of this nozzle. First was the tip, and now the second stage. I open that up, and there's a little mesh filter in there. It's really not to stop minerals, but if I were to drop some dirt or something into my container, it's rare that it's happened to me before, but it can. It'll stop it from going in and clogging your nozzle. And if the nozzle gets clogged up from the screen, you open it up and you just blow backwards through it, and that should clear out anything that's in there. And then you can just put it back together and you're back to misting. And again, if you do clog a nozzle, 60% of the time, if I just knock this on a rock or a piece of metal or anything I have around, 60% of the time I can get that crystal to drop out. If not, you have an ExtremeMist nozzle, as I mentioned earlier, that's in here, and you can deal with it later. If you need to clear one out in a real pinch, I've done this many a time, but you have to be careful because it's ceramic. I've taken a very tiny needle and just poked at it and take a kitchen knife and just poke at it a little bit and clear it. But really, if you can soak it in CLR is the fastest. And if you don't have CLR, you can use white vinegar. It takes a little longer. And then again, you're going to put this into place, push it all the way in, and you're ready to go. And that, my friends, is my little class on the misting fan. And again, I'll turn that on all the way up, and I'll turn up the mist, and it's rocking. So stay cool, stay tuned. There's always more products. Check out our website for other items. And if you ever want to, you can always pick up extra nozzles from us. They come in 3-packs as well.